Today, I'm reacting to your glasses questions. Probably going to be some controversial takes here, and I'm told that we save the best until last. So let's get started. This is a great opening question. If I came to you with a £500 budget, what combination of frames and lenses would you recommend? There's an obvious answer to that, and that would be a gassed frame with clear view lenses. In terms of that balance, I think that's probably like a 70-30 split between the cost of the lenses versus the frames. In other words, the lenses cost double what the frames cost. I think when you're balancing out how much you spend on your glasses, most of it should go towards the lenses. It might surprise you because most people think frames first, lenses secondary. But I actually put a lot of thought into this subject, and I concluded that it's easy to get good quality frames for a low price. It's not so easy to get good quality lenses for a low price. And clear view lenses are definitely the best value for money package. If you get the new version that includes Blue Guard, DuraVision Gold, and is available from stock, you can have glasses same day with pretty much all the features that you would want. And a gas frame is going to measure up to any $1,000 glasses. That's the amazing thing. Whether you want an acetate or a rimless, they're equally good at both, and they look as sharp as pretty much anything out on the market. So fairly easy answer to that one. Barry Santini poses a very interesting question here. I like this one. Barry, absolute legend in our industry, someone I learned a lot from. Big problem that's happening across the optical industry. So we all know and we can recognize a chain of companies like Lens Crafters, for example, or Specsavers over here in the UK. What is happening more and more are independent stores like ours being bought by a group, but retaining the same name. Therefore, they have the illusion of being independent, but you as a consumer might not know that they have biases, because what these groups do is they buy in bulk from certain suppliers, and then of course they're going to push that product. And actually, there's a lot of pressure to push that product. Some of the staff that make up our team here have worked for companies like that and were so against it that they left. As one of the last family-owned independent stores in the UK, very proud of what we do and very proud that we're continuing to grow and grow. And I'm so grateful for the support of our many clients around the world. I think it's more important than ever that consumers are educated on their eyewear buying choices. Because yeah, Barry, I agree. Of course there should be disclosure, but in the real world, it's not going to happen. How to get used to a new glasses prescription. Pretty much a whole video in and of itself. That's very difficult to answer because there are so many ways in which a prescription can change, so many different side effects that you can get, so many other variables like lens type that you've had. Maybe that's changed. Maybe the lens alignment has changed. Maybe the way the frame fits has changed. And it might not even be a problem. It might just be the natural brain's adaptation period. So actually a new pair of glasses not feeling 100% perfect, even after a week, is not something that you should be overly concerned with. As long as you can see things you need to see, right? Like if you can't see, that's a problem. That's an immediate problem. But if you can see and it just feels, not quite right, that can be normal. So just give it a little bit longer. And this is another reason to work with a good optician. Just buying glasses from a faceless company online, you're not going to get that support that you might need to diagnose a problem. So make sure you choose your optician carefully, someone who is actually knowledgeable and gives you that expertise in terms of guiding you through the new glasses process. What's my take on the future of small independent labs? There's two opposing forces at play here. One is the commercialization of eyewear and the fact that everything is being monopolized by certain big entities, EssilorLuxottica. That is almost spelling the end of small independent labs. The amount of independent labs they've purchased just to churn out their product, Essilor lenses, or if not completely close them down, really actually makes me sad. But on the flip side, people are looking for customization more than ever before. And this is where independent labs can succeed because they can do that better than anyone. For example, we work with IoT. IoT allows tint, photochromic, flash coating. We are kind of an independent lab because we do manufacturing in-house. Our independence allows us to do faceting, diamond cuts, custom shapes. It's a whole other world of eyewear. I think if an independent lab does things right, they have a lot of potential to succeed despite what's going on around them. So this is the thing. I don't comply with traditional styling advice. When I first came into the industry, it was face shape this, face shape that. But putting that into practice, I learned pretty quickly that you never really see the same face twice. There's no such thing as categorizing people into face shapes. Every person is unique, and therefore your advice to them should be unique. It should be on an individual basis, hence eyewear for the individual. That being said, it's not like you can just put any glasses on any face and they'll look good. I think instead I look at certain points on someone's face and certain features that they might have and weigh that against their personality type. All of that goes into making my recommendations. How I can scientifically convey that to you, I'm not sure, because a lot of it is based on my experience. But I think whatever you think your face is like, there isn't a type of glasses you can't wear. It's just finding the right one with the right proportions for you. As a student, do I have any advice? Well, what I would say is don't be afraid to push the boundaries and don't be afraid to bend the rules. Now, of course, we're in a medical profession. You do have to follow those rules. That being said, most of the rules in our industry predate modern technology. That was another thing that occurred to me when I started doing this, is that, okay, that might have made sense 10, 20 years ago, but they don't necessarily make sense now. So Do we have justification for doing things a different way? So to be the best version of yourself, follow your heart, follow what you think is right. Don't just do what everyone else does. Life is easier that way, trust me. Trust me, it is. But do you want an easy life, or do you want to be a superstar? What do I think of Ian Wright and Micah Richards? Well, I wouldn't lump them in together because I've only seen Micah Richards in maybe 1 or 2 pairs of glasses. Ian Wright has a huge collection, and I was very lucky to actually meet him. And I think he has amazing taste. If I'm being super critical, I feel like his taste has declined over the years. I've seen him wearing more basic conventional styles, maybe got a little bit less self-confident, I'm not sure. But he still has very good taste and he always looks sharp. How would you say the lenses we can make in prescription compare to tailored lenses from proper sunglass brands? Of course, I think Maui make excellent lenses. I think Serengeti make excellent lenses. Oakley make some good lenses, some not so good. For me, like, none of those are as good as a custom-made Zeiss lens. Now, they might be better in very specific circumstances. For example, if you want a beach pair, maybe Maui is the best. I don't think Oakley is the best in any sense. Serengeti, you could maybe say, are the best at driving, but some of the driving lenses that we produce with Zeiss outmatch them. This next person wants to know, how do we work remotely? Well, I'm not going to go into too much detail here because as far as I know, our process is proprietary. I'm not aware of anyone doing it the way we do it. Needless to say, during a consultation, I will explain the process. And many of the people watching this video will have asked me that exact question and heard my answer. More importantly, have seen the results because we have more than 99% success rate with our virtual clients. If you're in the 1%, we do a free exchange, so we never leave someone unhappy. But put it this way, I am as meticulous as I think it is possible to be. I'm obsessed with this and I work all day, all night at this. I will be personally supervising that whole order, maybe not start to finish, but in the important stages, i.e. first of all with the lens alignment measurement, with the final QC, and oftentimes with the manufacturing in between. What we'd be working with are static photos of you, so you will provide a few different images of yourself. I have a method for scaling those images so that it's 1-to-1. Once I have a 1-to-1 image of you, I can superimpose the new glasses that you're buying over that and calculate exactly how they're going to fit and exactly how your eyes are going to look through them. And if you stop and think about it, that is more accurate than the normal approach, where an optician is kind of sat in front of you trying to get eye level and then drawing with a pen and ruler. Much more precise than that. It's much more methodical. That's why we make the best glasses. High minus prescriptions, really one of my passions, because, you know, all glasses are life-changing or can be life-changing, but nothing is more life-changing in my experience than someone who has a very strong prescription and making their glasses look normal. Up until that point, everyone who sees them just sees their glasses. And if we get every detail perfect, it doesn't need to be that way. It does mean that every element needs to be right. Every proportion of the frame has to be ideal and the lens choice has to be the best. So I would always work with Zeiss 1.9 index glass, thinnest in the world. It's probably 20-30% thinner than the thinnest plastic. It makes a radical difference, and especially once we combine like a little bit of a tint on the lens, because that helps to disguise the minimification effect. If we get all those things right, we can do it. So in terms of advice, I mean, book a call with me or drop me an email. Either one is good. And yes, we offer free shipping to every country in the world. What tints do I think work best with silver or gold frames? Good question. What I would say is there is no rule book. I've seen every tint you can imagine paired with both, and they can look good if you tie everything together. A good way to balance it is to use an amber flash, like a gold flash coating, if you're doing a gold frame, and a silver flash coating if you're doing a silver frame. What that means is that no matter what lens color is behind it, stylistically it's all tied together. Generally speaking, I would say blue tends to work well with silver, green tends to work well with gold, amber also is great with gold, purple is nice with both but maybe leans more towards silver. So something that people need to realize, and people just in my experience will not accept, you can't have a pair of glasses that is great for night driving and daytime driving and is good outside of the car. I'm not going to elaborate. It can't be done. If you think it can be done, you're kidding yourself and you're just going to disappoint yourself. Embrace having multiple glasses. Have a pair of like evening wear glasses, which could be specialized for night driving and were photochromic for outside of the car, and then have a daytime pair of driving glasses, which could also double as sunglasses. If you're really trying to find the best all-rounder, but it is still a compromise, that would be the extractive polarized transitions technology with a flash coating. That's going to give you the best performance behind a windscreen for something you can also wear as general use glasses. But compared to a dedicated pair of driving glasses, it's nowhere close. I'm excited for the Metal Gear Solid 4 remaster. Great question. You guys know how big of a fan I am of Hideo Kojima and especially Metal Gear Solid. I remember when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out and it had the longest cutscene ever, because Kojima really just wants to be a movie director, right? So much like controversy around that, and in hindsight, it was perfect within the game. It was perfect. It was a beautiful cinematic moment. And how true has that game proved to be, by the way? It's all about the control of military, things being manipulated via AI, and it's really sad. So yeah, more people should play that game. I'm glad that they're remastering it. Favorite tinted glasses ever created by the Spectacle Factory? We've made some cool tinted glasses. I loved the pair that I showcased recently, that Cartier solid gold with our classic blue and ruby combination, but I think it has to be the Harlem New York with the amber and amber tint. That tint and frame combination could not be more perfect, and it's probably the one that we've replicated the most. Everyone loves it. It is like the ultimate glasses tint. You can wear it every day, but it looks 20 out of 10 in terms of style. Favorite international client? Is an impossible one. I'm not gonna pick one. I can genuinely say that I've loved every glasses delivery that I've done, and the interaction with people has been so beautiful and pure and fun for me. This is what I was born to do. And the people who allow me to style them remotely and then deliver their glasses to their home, most of them offer for me to like stay with them. It's a very personal thing. Like I become friends with them. Like Mark and Donna, that was definitely our favorite because Donna hadn't been able to see properly for so long. Mark, her amazing husband, had connected with me and was like, I really need you to help my wife. And I was like, well, I will try. I will do everything I can. And we did. You know, they flew over here to be measured with the VisuFit and the eye profiler. I took their glasses to them and she loved them straight away. And immediately she could see clearly and properly again. I have a lot of faith in what we do. I know that it works because of the feedback that we get. So I was confident but still nervous, and that was a beautiful moment. We can't forget Karen in Germany. I can't describe how good of a person she is. She's a beautiful, beautiful human being. When her cat was sick and she was really down, I planned a trip to go see her, to cheer her up a little bit, bring her some new glasses, and it seemed to work. Just a really happy memory. If you could style any celebrity, who would it be, why, and how would you style them? Johnny Depp comes to mind straight away. Keanu Reeves would be cool. Jeremy Clarkson would be fun because he's a pretty funny guy, but he has terrible taste in glasses. I'm actually going to be styling one of the people that I've always wanted to style pretty soon, so make sure you're subscribed for that because I'm not going to reveal who it is, but they are world famous. I would say probably one of the top 10 or 20 most famous people in the world. Whether that transpires into a video, I don't know, but they've requested my presence and I can't wait to meet them. That's it. Those are your glasses related questions. If you got any more for me, let me know in the comments.